Aloha. I'm an addict. My name is DJ. Welcome to the second meeting of WCNA 31. This meeting is entitled My Recovery Ain't No Joke. You will soon see why it's called that. Can we please start this meeting with a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And Robert from San Diego has graciously agreed to read what is the Narcotics Anonymous program.
My name's Robert. I'm an addict. What is the Narcotics Anonymous program? NA is a non-profit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership, the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. There are no strings attached to NA. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. We have no initiation fees or dues, no pledges to sign, no promises to make to anyone. We are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone may join us, regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. We are not interested in what or how much you used, or who your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience that those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean.
And Michelle from New York has agreed to read Why Are We Here? Thank you, Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm a grateful recovering addict. Why are we here? Before coming to the Fellowship of NA, we could not manage our own lives. We could not live and enjoy life as other people do. We had to have something different, and we thought we had found it in drugs. We placed their use ahead of the welfare of our families, our wives, husbands, and our children. We had to have drugs at all costs. We did many people great harm, but most of all, we harmed ourselves. Through our inability to accept personal responsibilities, we were actually creating our own problems. We seemed to be incapable of facing life on its own terms. Most of us realized that in our addiction, we were slowly committing suicide. But addiction is such a cunning enemy of life that we had lost the power to do anything about it. Many of us ended up in jail or sought help through medicine, religion, and psychiatry. None of these methods were sufficient for us. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until in desperation, we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. After coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffer from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is impossible.
At this time, it's a real privilege to introduce to you to our speaker. You may recognize him. He's also a professional person. Mark L. from California.
My name's Mark, and I'm an addict. My favorite color is purple. I'm allergic to cats. I can't stand macaroni and cheese. I sleep in the fetal position with a pillow between my knees because it feels better on my lower back. I prefer an aisle seat when I fly, except if it's a long flight like here, a window so I can sleep against the wall and not another human being. I'm deathly afraid of spiders. Rain is my favorite weather. One year I robbed a liquor store with a bottle of acne medicine in my pocket instead of a gun. And I never take the top newspaper out of a machine because I think there might be something wrong with that one. Now, what has that got to do with recovery? Nothing. The list I just gave you keeps me separate, unique, different, isolated, apart from, and not a family member. And that's how I got here. All by myself, not wanting to participate, dive in, or give any kind of energy toward process where you were included. They already told you in the beginning what this is about. Why are we here? How it works. They do that at every meeting. What is the NA program? How it works? Why are we here? They answer two questions there. Why and where? Who is an addict? The only question they never ask in the readings at the beginning of a meeting is when. And I think that's because addicts always know when. For us, when is always now. Be a very short reading. When? Now. Okay, sit down. I don't think addicts are addicted to what? I think we're addicted to now. If you want to know how it works, just listen to the readings. If you want to know why we're here, it's there. Who? You see them. When it worked, I can tell you when it started. I can tell you when it didn't. Experience, strength, and hope is usually the guideline for a share at a meeting like this. It's an honor to be included in a process like this where there are millions of us on this planet who deserve to be up here. It's very humbling to be here in this capacity. I have another line of work where I'm in front of one of these, in front of some of you a lot, but I have more power that night. This is about humility and honesty and tolerance and acceptance and principles before personalities, and that's really not my strong suit. What you need to know about this addict is in the title. I already told you everything you need to know about me. When I raised my hand and said, my name's Mark, I'm an addict. If I'm loud, I'm afraid. If I'm arrogant, it's because I'm insecure. If I'm judgmental, it's because there's a whole bunch of stuff inside me that I don't really want to look at. It means that I grew up in a household where the rules were different. It means that I don't want to participate because it means I need to give you equal time. It's in the title, addict. The definition of an addict for me is energy without grace. We're busy when we want to be. I got time and energy and talent and skill and focus and direction for everything I want, every day, all day. Sometimes that doesn't include you. Sometimes that doesn't include healing or process or anything else, and that's why I need meetings to remind me that I am a fragile human being. I was born perfectly broken. God made me perfectly broken so that I could go through what I needed to go through to get where I needed to be to meet the rest of the family someday. I'm not a bad guy. I suffer from a disease. It's called first thought wrong. I don't care what color your ancestors were or who you want to fall in love with. I don't care about your bank account or your belt size or your best friend or your birthday or biblical preference. I don't care if your folks drove a BMW or rode the bus, because this disease does not care. It's the most open-minded entity I've ever been introduced to. Look around. Who looks like you in here? For some of us, that's good. My first thought in any given circumstance that's new to me is incorrect, impolite, or criminal. But always wrong. Sometimes it takes a few thoughts in a row to come to compassion, or human, or fair. It's always first thought wrong since I was a kid. God bless the committee here who took the time to ask me a couple months ago, can you share? Well, the way they said it was this. Mark, we see that you're already registered for the convention. See, my first thought was, they ain't paying me nothing, no airfare, no hotel, no expenses. You're coming for free, why don't you just talk while you're there? My second thought was, God, quite an honor, really. Very humbling. Because it means that someone other than me thinks I have a story. And I do, but who doesn't? I think God made us perfectly broken because we are energy without grace to get here to deal with people who haven't learned who they are. The newcomers, the uninformed, the people we used to be when we got here. It says without parallel, that means there's nothing like it. I needed you to help me be me. I'd be okay with being me. So my second thought was okay when they invited me. My third thought was, man, I have to be honest and not write stuff, which I do for a living. I write comedy about a disease that kills people every day. I started that in 1988. I got clean in October of that year, and I started doing volunteer, 12-step service in jails and rehabs and detoxes and shelters and prisons and places I've lived. Years later, I got into clubs for normies. People who use dope socially with no consequence. If you're new, that's a joke. Let it go. I can write material about this disease because it's necessary for me to heal. I'm one of those addicts that takes myself so seriously, no one else has to. Everything's crisis or drama or serious for me. Everything. Why? It gives me purpose. There's a meaning. Boredom starts with serenity for me. That's first thought wrong. Too quiet, too nice, too easy, too simple. Gotta be some stuff going on, man. What? Give me a reason to come here. You make it nice for me, I'm not interested. You make it bad or horrible or dangerous, I'm first in line. There's always some share in the show. Any show. I get paid to go to treatment centers, alumni functions. I get paid to talk to the staff there. I get paid to do a certain thing on TV. I get paid to do a certain thing in a theater or at a club. It's about us, the humor, because it's personal. And it's the most important part of my job, is the source of the humor. And for me, nothing's funny till it hurt first. For me, pain is hilarious when it stops. While I'm going through it, don't be laughing at me. Don't try to get me laughing with you. No, I'm done with my pain. I'll engage. Until then, leave me alone. That's how serious I am about me most of the time. Now, I could write jokes all day. I have. I do. About us. I could write jokes like, we're not stupid, we're selectively focused. We'll flunk out of math class, but we could make a pot pipe out of a fish. Dude, last night we smoked salmon. I could write jokes like, how many addicts does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. We trick a codependent into doing it for us. I could write jokes like, booze makes you loud. Duh, it's written on the label. Alcohol % by volume. I could write jokes like, I don't get decaffeinated coffee. I don't get it. It's like a hooker who doesn't fuck. What the hell are you doing? Half of you liked it, half of you are running for the door. It's just... I think wrong first. I have company. I love that about us. For me, there's only two groups of people in this world that matter. Normal people and the rest of us. I don't believe normal people have first thought wrong. I think they have first thought kind, first thought fair, first thought generous, first thought family-oriented, community-minded. I think it takes me a long time to get to a normal place out there when you're not watching. I could do it when you're watching. I could do it when I'm under pressure to be one of us, act like one of us who's in recovery as opposed to one of us who's energy without grace. When you're watching, I'm a great guy. I'm a 12-step working guy. I'm patient and kind and tolerant. But if I'm standing at one of those elevators by myself, what the... Mark, what? Yeah, I love you too, man. See ya. Because I'm self-centered. That's in the title. Addict, self-centered. Self-centered addict, yeah. That's like saying busy methamphetamine guy. Kind of redundant, really. Sleepy heroin addict. Dishonest crack smoker. Okay. I make a living because I'm one of us. I'm proud of that. I get to introduce myself to normal people in an audience or a presentation or at a certain situation that is occupational for me. And I get to write original stuff that has to do with the way I think and the way I felt and the way I grew up and the way I was taught by you. I wrote a show that went to New York City. It was a one-man play. It was called Addicted, a comedy of substance. And I wrote that as a bridge between normal and the rest of us. We stayed there 6 months. I did 9 shows a week about us. About us. Every night. Now, did I say that to impress you a little bit? Yeah. I won't lie to you tonight if I can help it. But here's the funny thing. Normal people quote stuff from that show and they're not us. And they're things you and I are familiar with. You know? In the industry I'm in, if you borrow material, it's plagiarism. It's crime. In Narcotics Anonymous, borrowing material is necessary. You better say something somebody else said, because what you know when you're new ain't worth talking about. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. And if that sounds like an opinionated attitude, it's because I've been around here long enough to know that I was just like you when I was new. You're just like me when you are new. And you'll be me when the next generation comes in and you look at them and go, hey, just keep coming back. Because after a while, you know that keep coming back doesn't mean that all the time. I was raised in the late 80s in this fellowship in Oakland, California, where I got clean, my hometown. I was born right there. Even in the late 80s, Narcotics Anonymous was hardcore about sit down, shut up. They said it a little different than that. Don't talk. Don't talk till you got a year. You're a newcomer for 5 years. Things like that. We don't want to hear what you know right now. Because when you're new, you don't even know what you don't know. The difference between new and old is that old-timers know what they don't know right now. When you're new, you don't know what you don't know. But you think you know. It's a time process where you are handed information to use well, like we all can. If you're new tonight, so far, I've been a little tough on you. But when did being nice to you ever work? When were you invited somewhere with open arms and you said, oh yeah, sure, me? Absolutely. No. For us, if it's good, we don't belong. If it's available, it must not be worthwhile. If it's an honest and straightforward process, I don't want a part of that. It's got to be indirect and underhanded and sneaky and belligerent and no spirituality involved in all that. I like that. I'll go twice. That's first thought wrong for me. And if you're new, we love you. We love you. That's why we sponsor you. That and the fact that your pain is still funny to us. Now, if that sat with you wrong right now, there's Naranon for you. You know how we are and how we get one another's attention. Now, on the other side of that, I'll tell you that I will listen to a newcomer because the most important person in the room is the reminder that the disease is fresh and horrible and still deadly, and it's fatal and it kills people, not because they're stupid or ungifted or bad. It's because we're forgetful. Addicts aren't stupid. We're some of the brightest, most creative, determined, energetic creatures God ever imagined. But we forget. We forget for 5 minutes that we have a disease and we never come back. I'm not special because I'm funny or because I'm creative or because I'm particularly brave when it comes to doing a certain thing for a living. I'm special because I didn't take nothing today. I get to do what I do with a lot of attention paid to me because I'm an ex-street guy, 120-something pound methamphetamine, cocaine, wino, cardboard box living, shuffle step, mumble bum, horrible smelling, long-haired, one set of clothes, foul-mouthed criminal living under a bridge. Did I say that to impress you? Yeah. You and I are the only ones that brag about our bottoms. Wait. Listen to how low I went, man. I tell you, I'll out-bottom you, man. You just wait. Ooh, jail. Ooh. Prison time, man. What you got now, new guy, huh? Yeah. This disease has to be funny. Because I'll tell you what my opinion is about the disease itself and the taking it so seriously is that me, if I look at something with a whole bunch of power in it, and it's serious, I'll try to repeat it, mend it, fix it, manipulate it, so that it turns out better next time. If it's funny, I go, no thanks, keep that. Normal people look at us and go, why don't you just quit? And after a while around here, you got to say, I just don't know. That's a great idea, actually. Where were you 15 years ago? Why don't you tell me back then when I was 20? Part of the reason that I'm allowed to do what I do, and a lot of you have been so supportive in that effort. I've been to a bunch of different countries in every state in this country, and I've been to a lot of conventions and unity days and alumni things and jails, and I'll get letters and email, and you're so kind. I had 5 people today tell me, tell the truth tonight. Tell the truth tonight. And I thought, what do you mean by that? What? And they were all from my home group. They're all from my home group. I'm not kidding. 5 people, Willow Glen Home Group in San Jose, California. I'm a card carrying. We meet Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 o'clock and Monday afternoons at 12:30, and the whole world is welcome. And it's the best home group in the United States. That's a fact. Now, I hope your first thought was wrong. I hope your first thought was, you ain't been in my home group. If you don't feel that way about your home group, why? Why is that? I hope to God you give me the liberty to say that about my own home group, because Narcotics Anonymous has taught me that my home is special. It's the place where I really dump everything. I get to not put the game face on. I don't have to be funny. I don't have to be anything except there. Narcotics Anonymous is a very unique body of individuals. Leave it to NA to put a whole bunch of people on Oahu, a whole bunch of survivors, and no one gets voted off the island. Nobody. All weekend. That's reality here. I have an opinion that I owe you. I'll say it like this, that I believe that the longer I'm clean, the greater my debt. Everything else in my life works its way down. A loan, a banknote, some kind of mortgage situation, a car. It works down to zero. It starts high and works down. It's just the opposite with recovery. I owe you more the longer I'm clean. And if you're new and you're still taking my inventory, what I want to tell you is this. That you're off the hook. You don't owe us anything right now. Nothing. Your debt is zero. You're all paid up to get here. And we love that about you. You know? And I've learned more about this fellowship from a newcomer than I've ever taught one. I don't sponsor many guys. I just don't. And no women. I sponsor very few guys because I'm gone a lot. I'm on the road quite a bit, and it's a lot of phone stuff. And we seem to want to be in the same room with each other, which I think is important. If you are one of us, you know that there's somebody else involved, something else, some it else involved, that you put 2 of us in the same room, and it's magic. More is not always better, even in a meeting. I was at a meeting on the road in South Dakota, and there were 3 people in there. 2 when I walked in, and I was the 3rd, and I was upset. Why did I waste my time with just this little tiny meeting? The guy running the meeting had 26 years clean. And I said to him, how long has this meeting been going on? He said, about a year. I said, how many people usually come? He said, you're the first 2 ever. Ever.
And I thought, the power of the faith that man had in us. A year all alone. I don't think I would have stayed more than 25 minutes. I'm not that good a guy. I haven't progressed to the part where you're always as important as me. Or you are more important than me some days. And that's not codependent. That's because you have a need that I've already worked through. There are people in this fellowship who deserve to be up here way more than I do. You know who you are. And if I asked you to raise your hand right now, you wouldn't do it. You're that humble. You're that spiritual. You are so far ahead of some of the rest of us. Somebody will say to me in the kindest way they can, "Thanks for making me laugh." I think that's like saying, "Thanks for making me listen. Thanks for making me learn. Thanks for making me love you. Thanks for making me live my life." Laughter's an option. Laughter's lack of fear. It's a choice. But it's a choice some of us make on a regular basis because this disease at best is silly. At worst, it's a death sentence. At best, it's ridiculous. The behavior, the patterns, the obsession, the mindset, the first thought wrong. Normal people would never snort crank, ever. They'll tell you why. Oh, it's illegal. You and I go, ha ha. So, as long as it's available, we really don't care. You'll never see this with a normal person. Jesus! Can I buy some of that from you, man? We're perfectly broken people. So that when somebody says something that's way out there, and they're new, we go, "Oh, yeah, I understand, man. I get that. Let me tell you a little story about me. First thought wrong is a blessing. Imagine how it must feel to not understand one of us. Normal people meet us, usually too late. But normal people are necessary. They make great co-signers. They have a driver's license. That stuff didn't used to be funny to me. I would sit in a meeting. I got clean by way of a treatment center in 1988. October 20th, I wandered into a psychiatric detox in Oakland, California. And I was born on East 23rd and Fruitvale there. This detox was on East 28th and Fruitvale. In 29 years of my existence, I have traveled 5 blocks. Really. And I wandered into this, and some of this is right out of any show I do because it's exactly who I am. There's always some share in the show. So consequently, there's a little bit of... The psychiatrist there, he said, "Do you know why you're in here?" I said, "Yeah, because I'm crazy. Man, I'm crazy all day." He said, "No, you're a drug addict." And I said to him, "Oh, can you give me something for that, man?" That's a true story. He did not laugh. I did not laugh. I was dead serious. Give me something to stop me from taking something. Because for me, it's not about what, it's about when, and when is always now. I don't care if my addiction has manifested itself in any kind of substance, including the other ones that we don't talk about around here so much, and rightly so. We're Narcotics Anonymous. You can't put a whole bunch of letters in front of A. We'd just be confused. But I've been a fat guy. I've been addicted to food because it feels better now. And I don't eat it because I'm hungry. I eat it because I'm empty or lonely. I've been addicted to gambling or sex or work or ego or rage. All these other nows because I want to feel better now. It works, whatever it is. It takes me out of me now. Because who I am right now isn't enough. And I can't get what I need in here. And everything out there looks better than I do. Give me something to help keep me from taking something. He asked me if I was suicidal, the psychiatrist. And I thought, man, this guy's good. Because I was. I was a suicidal street guy. I don't know if you're like me, but there came a point in my using where it wasn't just every day, it was all day. There's a difference between every day and all day. And the energy it took to be all day at it was just too much after a while. I just could not consistently maintain the energy it took to get it. And get it again. And keep getting it. And take it and have it not be enough. I started using dope when I was a kid because it made me feel good. I continued to take dope as a kid because it made me feel better. I continued to take dope because it made me feel different. I continued to take dope because it made me feel normal. I continued to take dope because it made me feel nothing. I continued to take dope because it made me feel like nothing. And I did it anyway, again. Because nothing is what I had. Nothing is who I was. Nothing is what I had coming. First thought, wrong. I told the psychiatrist, yeah, I'm suicidal all day. I didn't say it that nicely. They put me in 4-point restraint. And I always try to tell this story if I'm asked to share at a meeting. Speak. Share. It's just 3 minutes and sit down for me. I have a rule. I have lots of rules. If I share longer than 3 minutes at a meeting, I need to call my sponsor. If I share longer than 5 minutes, I don't have one right now. And if I talk longer than 10 minutes, I'd probably be a good one. Because they know so much. I actually thought early on in the recovery process that one is too many, 1,000 never enough, they were talking about sponsors. They put me in 4-point restraint because I was 5150, danger to myself or others. And I wasn't very big. I was like, 120-something pounds, this little skinny little rail guy. Just no ass on me at all, nothing. Just shoulders to heels. That was it, just a flat line. Just a little hole at the bottom of my back where stuff came out some days. On a good day. That was appropriate. I apologize. That's a 10th step. I'm sorry. If you're new, don't worry. You'll never get to it.
Now you know I'm speaking on Wednesday and not Saturday. Saturday's a spiritual speaker. Sunday morning, spiritual speaker. Friday night, rah-rah, spiritual speaker. Wednesday night, dick. Normal people wouldn't clap for that right now. They wouldn't clap for that. I have a part of me that plays a lot because it's necessary, and I spent so much time as a child or an adolescent or in my 20s, just life was so hard that I wanted to end it now. Suicide was a very, very attractive option because I could quit spending energy on something that was getting me to the same place over and over and over. I just always came to sometime during the day or night, checked to make sure I had my shoes and a coat or something, newspapers over me on the bench, something, and thought, here we go again. It starts all over again. Every day, I got to start over again. October 19th, 1988, I took a bus from Oakland, where I was living, up and down Broadway in Oakland. Jack London Square's at the bottom, and there's a whole bunch of tourists down there, and I used to panhandle down there. And because tourists will give you money so you get out of their face, you know. And I would go up northern Broadway, which is up by Piedmont or Broadway Terrace, because it was a lot of money up there in that community. And people who have a lot of money don't generally finish all their food on their plate in any restaurant. They just don't. And I would finish it. And took a bus out to Hayward to the Matador Motel, which was in a $6 an hour little place. Yeah. I didn't have $6. I broke in through the back window of the bathroom, put a gun in my mouth, pulled the trigger, and it didn't go off. It just jammed. And I thought, man, this is... I'm not very good at this. I was disappointed in not being dead. That made sense to me. I got on a bus, went back to the Oakland area I was familiar with, and went into the detox. And I stayed there 28 days exactly. I knew that because I was counting. They gave me a little calendar to X off, you know. And I would X off. Jesus. Only 17 more days, 16 more days, 15 more days, 15 more days. I'll mark off 2, whatever. What I didn't know was that the whole staff at the hospital was counting too. You only got 6 more days, that guy. Get him out of here. 5 more days of that asshole. 3 more days. Because I was a first thought wrong, tell you about a person. What I've learned since is that first thought wrong means next word, caution. Next action, maybe not. I get to choose. You can know I have first thought wrong, but you don't have to hear what it is. I will respect you by showing you that. 4-point restraint is ankles and wrists strapped to a platform or gurney or table, and you can't get up until the staff is ready to let you up. That's the part they don't tell you in the lobby, by the way. They let you figure that out on your own once you're... And I remember laying there thinking, man, I am never telling the truth to any doctor or nurse or anybody else ever again, because this is what I get. This is what I get. See? See what you get? And I said, you let me up or I'll kill you. I'll find your house, burn your family in it, cut your dog's head off, stick his nuts in his neck. I'll never stop hunting you down. Ah! Ah! That won't get you up. Didn't... I got a whole extra 24-hour observation for that. But when I came to, looked over across the room next to me, there's a guy on a detox table, gurney, and 5-point restraint. And my first thought was, what a loser! I'll never be like you, man. You hit rock bottom, brother. I got choices today.
I could throw up on either shoulder. That's a true story. It's funny now. And that story's part of the show. Even normal people find that amusing because they're not threatened by it. What you and I do, if you're anything like me, which I believe that you are to the core of my soul, that we are related, we take tools God gave us and make them weapons against ourselves and the people we care about most. I'm not an evil man. I'm not a bad person. I'm a guy who doesn't know how to use tools until I'm taught. Creativity is a tool. Energy is a tool. Dedication is a tool. Commitment is a tool. I just made those things like lying, criminal, abuse, violence. That tool subtly shifted towards a different, positive, powerful, spiritual recovery direction. Healing, helping, available, energy with grace. That's what you get here. You've always had the energy. I've always had the ability to focus and drive, and God gave us tremendous tools. Broken was a beginning. The chance to mend people who are just like me, with me. Blessing. I've been lucky enough to live 2 lives. Addict. Criminal. Self-centered. Abusive. Human. Healing. Recovering. Addict. We can't do one of anything. Let me ask you a question, if I may. In spite of all the stuff that you did, that you were involved in, that you were responsible for, that was your fault, or you were the center of, that was evil or wrong or hurtful, how many times did God give you something good anyway? Kept handing it to you. Here's another chance. Here's another option. Here's another person. There have always been people in my life who liked me more than I was willing to like me. And what I do with something that's good, like a human being who cares and loves and wants to help me and assist me, I use them up, throw them away, and find another one. It makes sense to me to hurt people who are close to me. That's why they're close to me. I had that first thought wrong that said, God put this person in your life to help you get what you need. I still get that. Subtle shift from weapon to tool. God put that person in my life to give me what I need. A reminder. A new focus. A different story. A different direction. Suggestion. Option. Way of looking at this disease. I can't see by myself. If you're new, that's what you do. Powerless? Hardly. Powerful enough to teach somebody who's been around longer than you? Powerful enough to participate immediately on the invitation of now? Powerful enough to be a member right this minute and not waste another second with energy without grace. Powerless over dope? Sure. The disease? Sure. First thought wrong? Nope. I get to choose what I do after what I think. It's not always good. I have first thought wrong even in meetings, and that's not really the greatest place for an addict to be. Is judgmental in a meeting. After the meeting, it's okay. You know, when you go to Denny's and have the meeting after the meeting, that's okay. What you hear here, let it stay here. Except for this. Let me tell you about this right here. It's just a suggestion. It doesn't matter. I've sat in a meeting and been horrible. Now, I've never been to a bad meeting. I don't want you to hear that. If I said it incorrectly, I apologize. I've never been to a bad meeting. I think a meeting is a like event for people who are like one another, who don't have to like each other to recover in a like fashion, in a successful way, like everyone before them. How could that be bad? I've been bad in meetings. I was sitting in a meeting that was, where was I? St. Louis, Missouri. It was a noon meeting. It was 12 to 1. It's an hour, 60 minutes. 12 noon till 1 o'clock. It's an hour. 60-minute meeting. It's 1 hour. At 2 minutes to 1, the secretary said, "Anybody got a burning desire?" And I don't know about you, but I'm always thinking, no, come on, nobody. Shut up. No, jeez. You better know what 2 minutes is, man. That's my stuff, not theirs. At 1:05, this guy was still talking. And I did this. The lady next to me, she knew me. She goes, "Mark, you can't, Mark, don't." I go, "Somebody's got to teach these people." She goes, "Why does it have to be you?" I go, "Okay, forget I was talking to you. Just, thank you, but shut up. You shut up too." First thought was wrong. It was about me, and it's an hour meeting, and I'm going to teach you something. And here's the thing. I can't teach anybody anything. I've been clean 16 years. My wife's been clean 10 years. And what I will tell a man out there is that because you have more clean time, still don't make you the boss at your house. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. Relationships were awkward for me at best because they were all about now. I was never consistent. I always picked the wrong person, and I never took responsibility for the person I chose. There was always something dangerous that was attractive, something horrible or rude or brutal. That's changed. I don't recommend this to new people, but here's a little short timeline of my recovery. At 3 years clean, I was addicted to humor. I couldn't be real. I couldn't tell you the truth. I would just be funny. You loved it, but that's all you knew. At 5 years clean, I was addicted to work. I could not say no to work ever. At 7 years clean, I was addicted to food. I weighed 70 pounds more than I do right now, and it was awful. I just could not stop eating. At 9 years clean, I was addicted to her. All of them. The sicker, the better. At 13 years clean, I got my heart broken bad. And I decided to open the workbook. Yeah. I said open it. I didn't say do anything with it. And that's literally what I did. I opened the book, looked at it and went, no, put it down. It took me 15 years of clean time to get through the steps once, totally, honestly, thoroughly, with a sponsor. I don't recommend that for anybody. I'm spiritually retarded. That just means slow. Very subtle. That was my first thought. I'm sorry. My second thought was thank you very much. Here's what I've found about this particular process is that hearts don't break in here, they bend. Sometimes the wounds are self-inflicted when it comes to relationship stuff. I married that lady who broke my heart. I told you I'm slow. If you call the NA hotline in San Jose, it's her voice on the phone. Dedicated, service, patient, kind. She loves what I do for a living. But she is so good for my humility. She tells me at home all the time, you know what, Mark, your show is amazing, but you, my friend, are no big deal. If you're new, I'll tell you something that's real short and real sweet. This process, life, is like panhandling. It's all about change. I don't think the question is, are you as good as the person next to you, but are you better than you were? That's all they ask for here. Progress. I'm perfectly broken. That's as perfect as it gets. And energy with grace is as nice as I can be. And you've taught me that here. So I will ask you, family, when is a better time to participate, to join, to be included, to be welcomed and a part of? You've always known the answer. Now, why not now? Why not you? Why not? Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Before we close this meeting, I have a couple of announcements. For the safety of every member here for this weekend, please do not come up on this stage to take pictures, as wonderful as it looks to do that. For the safety of everybody, please do not come up on this stage. I know it's tempting. There are other lovely spots around to do that. And another thing is we have a shortage of garbage cans in this room, but we don't necessarily have a shortage of garbage cans outside this room. Please take your trash with you to help us keep this room clean. I would really appreciate that, and the support committee and all of us would appreciate that. I have asked William, my new friend William from Austin, Texas, to please read Just for Today. Oh, you're so wonderful. Yes.
I'm an addict. My name's William. Just for today, tell yourself. Just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new associations, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear. Just for today.
I'm going to jump down, I think. please help me thank Mark again.